Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Focus on Gaming podcast, episode 59. Just myself and Duncan this week. No Tom.
Hello.
Hello, how are you, Duncan?
I'm very good. It's been a week when a new Star Wars game has come out, a much anticipated Star Wars game, which is pretty much going to be the focus of this episode, I think. With it,
hopefully, yeah. So I haven't done much gaming. Without Tom here, it's unlikely we're going to get around to speaking about building games for the fifth week in a row.
We'll get to about episode 150. We'll still be going next week. Building episodes.
Yeah, that'll be the end.
Games.
Yeah. This episode will.
There'll be City Skylines 4 coming out.
I know, yeah, that'd be.
Star Wars Outlaws. Is it? We've discussed a tiny bit about Star Wars games. Are you a particular Star Wars fan?
I'm a Star Wars fan, yeah. Watched most of the film. I haven't watched the newer ones since Disney's taken over. No reason. I just haven't. Don't know why, really.
Don't go around to it.
The last one I watched was The Revenge of the Sith. I think that was the one before Disney took over. In terms of the games, I like the game Battlefront.
Are you a classic or a modern one?
Knights of the Old Republic. It's probably my personal favorite on the Xbox. I had that. So, and then
I had that on PC first, I think, because I was a PC Master Race person back then. But fantastic game.
People.
It's one of the biggest twists in gaming. I think we're all right to say it out loud, aren't we? That you're the big bad but you just lost your memory, or you had your memory wiped, didn't you, on purpose? That was just like the biggest twist you could possibly have. Almost as big as Bruce Willis and his and I See Dead People.
Yeah, I See Dead People.
So Star Wars. This one though, it's by Massive Games, who I believe made the Wolfenstein games, isn't it? Massive Entertainment. I want to say it's them. Sorry, The Division. The Division. That's what they've made. So Division 2, Ground Control and World in Conflict are their big games, I suppose. And they've also did Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. So I don't know if you've seen that one as well. Very pretty games. I've always thought The Division was a good-looking game, and Star Wars Outlaws carries that on. It's a fantastically beautiful game. The main character models aren't that great though. But the worlds, as soon as you get out into a big building or a big world or something, it's so beautiful. I have it on performance mode, so it has higher frame rate. But I've just got to a mission where you have to traverse a crashed starship, Empire's starship thing, and it's just amazing to look at. And that's very much one part of the game. So the game itself is an open world, but it's almost like Far Cry and Uncharted had a baby. So if you like those two games, you'll probably like it. I was very much. I don't know whether I've gone into this liking it or wanting to like it a lot more, and I'm mildly disappointed. I'm enjoying the game, but I'm finding little problems that are annoying me, or just the little things are just niggling at me. I've played about 17 hours in 2 games, but I've only just met one of the characters that's on the main artwork, who it's been so brief that I've met. It's like a robot, and so brief that I've met him that I don't even know who it is yet. Which in a way is quite good because I looked on howlongtobeat.com and I looked at, after about 2 days, how long it would take to beat the game, and they were saying 19 to 20 hours. And I was a bit disappointed with that because I thought, Ubisoft games, they're normally collectathons that take hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. But thankfully, I can say, I think after about 17, 18 hours, something like that, I don't think I've actually got that far. Mostly because I'm exploring a lot. It's an open world. You've got to explore. But apparently as well, there's 5 planets that you can explore. And I've explored 2. So I don't think it's going to be 19 to 20 hours for me, because that means I'll have to explore 3 more planets and complete the story and find loads of side missions in about an hour. And I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, so open world is traversed by a speeder, and you unlock that after, for me, after about 8 hours, because you start off on Canto Blight, which is it was in, I want to say, The Last Jedi. It's where all there's it's a bit like Vegas Planet, a Las Vegas Planet, where there's horse racing with not horses, big things. And that's where your character Kay lives and is in a bit of a... She's not looked upon nicely by the local gangs and whatnot, and she gets into trouble, so you have to save her, you have to get off the planet, and you steal a ship. That's the premise for the game. That gets you onto another planet, which the second planet is where I currently am and haven't gone to a third planet yet. And then once you're on a planet, on the open world bit, you can traverse by speeder, which is good fun to drive, except for you can go very fast, and then you'll jump off cliffs, and then you'll hit a tiny little rock, and you go flying off. So it's hit and miss. It's great fun, but at the same time, you get little problems like that. And then it's one of these ones where there's no mini map as well. A baffling decision. I don't know why. But there is a map. But finding something, you'll have some markers on the map, and they'll be up a cliff. And there's no... I mean, you're talking a cliff that takes, even on the speeder, sort of a minute to get around. So trying to find that one little tiny place or hole or place where you have a grappling hook that you can grapple, it can just be an absolute pain in the backside. And then when you do find places, if you haven't got the right equipment yet, you can go through all these different areas and on the speeder for a minute, and you're going in and out down a tunnel, and you'll get to the end and you'll be like, oh, this looks like something I can explore. No, you haven't got the right kit, or it just has nothing. It just doesn't say anything. So you're like, I should be able to open this door. No, I can't. And the character doesn't say anything or anything. It's just no. Because I did that. I found this place after about half an hour of exploring. Went down this massive tunnel, found this place, and was like, oh, yeah, I found either not a secret, but a hidden place. And that couldn't do anything with it. Thought, oh, that was a bit of a waste of time. Went away, did one side mission, and guess where it told me to go? Which, of course, then I couldn't find the bloody tunnel to go down because it just had a marker. And I was like, yeah. So... There's lots of things that are infuriating me like that, and it's just little things that individually they're okay, but when you got all these things that are just getting on my tits a bit, it's I'm enjoying it. It's a very... I've said this a few times to people. It's a very hard game to hate. But it's equally a very hard game to enjoy. I wouldn't say it's a bad game. It isn't. You can see the love of the graphical and some of the little things that like you've got a blaster and you have this little cat's axolotl thing called Nix that you can send him off to attack enemies or distract enemies or open a door for you because it can crawl through gaps. It can fetch things and steal things. You got little things like if you point the blaster at him and press the fire button, your character goes pew, and the cat pretends to die. Cat thing. So you got little bits like that and nice, and it is a beautiful world to traverse. It's just lots of little things where I'm having to go into the map 30 times on a 5-minute journey because I'm like, am I going the right way? Oh, I've got to look. Is there a cliff in the way that I'm on the map because the map's slightly 3D. Cutscenes are very good though. It's got very cinematic. The cutscenes look very good. They're not. They're all. Well, they're either pre-rendered or they're done differently. They don't seem to be in-game engine kind of thing. And there is a lot I haven't unlocked yet because you upgrade skills and abilities through experts, and once you've met these experts, you have to fulfill certain things like kill a certain amount of people or pick a certain amount of locks, and then you get a skill that you unlock. But I've only got 3 out of I want to say 6 or 7 of the experts. So that there is a lot for me to unlock, and it might make things generally a bit easier if I just barrel through the story. But if I barrel through the story, I won't bother with a lot of the unlocks. Once I've got to the end, so I want to explore, but it doesn't reward you for exploring. I think is some things some doors will only open if you're specifically on a mission. So you can't go, oh, look, I found this thing. Go to somebody, they say, I want this thing. And you've got that thing already. You can't do that. It's only,
not so flexible like some other
open world game. I played a game recently. I can't remember which one it was. But I remember it went, oh, you've already got this. And
it's like Dragon's Dogma was a game a bit like that where you would sort of directed, but if you could do it your own way. Like I remember, I think I mentioned it on one of the previous podcasts. I was doing a mission, and one of the person who was leading me to the main city died on the way. We went in there. For some reason, well, he was leading me, but I think he kind of like followed where you were going as well. So I went off down this little path bit, and he ended up in the water, and he got dragged in by this. You don't go in the water and drag the dogma. Did you get dragged in by? And then he died. I was like, okay, what happened to the mission? And they just carried on. I had to work out a new way of getting into the city. I had to get myself arrested to get into the city. So it just sort of just changed the game, and you could.
Yeah, there's none of that with this. None of that at all.
Like one way you could get items, and you could get an item which was similar or whatever, and sell on, or give someone like a cheaper one and keep the more expensive.
There was a fake, wasn't it? You could get somebody.
Fake. Those are little stuff like that. But so, in regards to. So for people who don't know, your character, you don't create your own character on Star Wars.
No, it is you play a woman called Kves, who is a thief, a scoundrel. She's basically your Han Solo kind of character.
She's not a Jedi or anything like that.
She's not.
She's not a Jedi or anything.
No. I haven't met any Jedis. There's no mention of Force or anything like that. So I don't actually know. Obviously, it's before the Empire is brought down, kind of thing. But yeah, there's stormtroopers. You have the Empire attacking you in areas. What it is, you have you have on the open map or within cities, you have areas that are specific to a what are they called? Criminal syndicates, or the Empire. And yeah, so the Empire, and then on the open world, there's certain areas. So every time you do a job for one group, their opinion of you goes up, and you can go in their areas, and they won't attack you. If you're poor or below, so you can be poor, bad, or terrible, I think, they won't let you into the areas. If it's bad or below, they will attack you if you're in their areas. So that's one way how it changes what each area is like. But at the same time, I'm really good with Crimson Dawn. I think that's the one that was in the what's the one, Rogue, the Rogue One film was Crimson Dawn. That's what's his red and black face with the spikes. What's his name? Darth Maul. Darth Maul. Darth Maul was in, I think, in that. Anyway, I'm reading in with them at the moment, so I could just wander in their zones, and they're like, oh, but they still have restricted areas. But it does make things a lot easier. So all I'm thinking now is, well, I'll just do missions that are in their areas, because then I could just wander in, and that's half of it. There are restricted areas that you still can't go in, but it gets rid of the fact that you have to go into an area from very far away and get past a load of people. But equally, there's a lot of missions where it doesn't matter about being spotted. So it's just a case of just shoot everybody, then you can wander around, get something, and wander out. Because if your reputation's bad, who cares? But there are a lot of missions or side missions that say do not get caught, and so if you get spotted, they're gone. There's also lockpicking. The lockpicking is really weird. You use a data spike, so you put it in, like R2D2 stuck his a thing, he's thinking in machine, in computers, and spins it round. It's like that. So you shove it in, and then it's a rhythm action game thing, but it's not good. it's not very good at all. It's not clear whether you're meant to do it at sort of, yeah, it's not very clear when you're meant to do it, kind of thing. So sometimes it's a bit of a hit and miss whether you can. They try to do something different from the traditional of spinning something around in the right place, like you got in Skyrim and all that. But there's a reason why people have done that, because that one's all right. That it's okay to do. It's intuitive. But this one,
Bethesda, isn't it? Because Fallout they got lock picking in that, don't they?
Yeah.
And it's if we get it wrong.
Yeah, Fallout and Skyrim, same thing, where you have position the one, and then you have to turn it around and see if it snaps, and if it doesn't, if it stops or if it snaps, it's in the wrong place. This one, you just stick it in, and then you have to press trigger or whatever button you got in time with the flashes. So if it goes click, 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 you have to then go click, 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 and it's a pretty tight sort of time that you've got to click. It's just not good. I'm not too keen on it. There are accessibility options, which means you can get rid of a lot of these things. There is do you know the Mastermind game where you have the colours in a code, and you have to guess, the other person has to guess the code? Well, that is basically what they have, data splicing, and you get a code which you can change to numbers, they're either visual or numbers. So you have to put the numbers in, and then it tells you whether those numbers aren't in there, whether they are in there but in the wrong position, or whether they're in the right position. That's quite good. I quite like that because I'm a puzzle person. So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, overall,
And what have you got it on? Have you got it on your Steam Deck?
no, I'm playing on Xbox. If you can't play it on Steam at the moment, it is on what you call it, Epic Store, I believe. I will just double check. Epic exclusive. Let's have a look. Yep, Epic Games Store on August 30th. So it will come to Steam at some point. But yeah, I think Epic.
I think it's not even on Steam at the moment.
No, you can't get it on Steam. So the only way to get it on PC is Epic Game Store or the Ubisoft thing. Now, obviously, I've bought this. Now, I'm starting to think, although I am enjoying it, I'm not actually regretting it, but I wish I had got Ubisoft Plus Premium for a month and just absolutely rinsed it. Because that would have cost me, even full price, it would have cost me £15. Overall, it's a game that if you're a Star Wars fan and especially a Han Solo fan, it definitely give it a go. If you like Far Cry, if you like Far Cry, you like Star Wars, you will overall you will enjoy it. I think most people will enjoy it. It does have its minor problems though, and if they don't annoy you, you'll think it's brilliant. But so anecdotally, I've asked a couple of friends who I know have bought it. One got it free with a PC part, so he's like, "Yeah, I don't really care." But he's agreed that it's got problems. It's a strong 6 or 7 out of 10,
which is probably what the reviews have been for it.
It's not a bad game. It's not. I'm not saying people shouldn't play it or that I hate it. I just probably hasn't lived up to my high expectations, which I was very excited for this.
So, I mean, it seems still to me, Duncan, that Like a Dragon is still your game of the year at the moment.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Outlaws.
I'm still playing Kunitsu Path of the Goddess as well, occasionally.
Yeah.
Although I have reached a level that's pretty tough in that, and every time I've tried, it's really tough. I can't remember what it's called, but it's one where you're in a marsh and you have to fix some bridges while the goddess is moving and whatnot. So yeah, it's quite that's challenging me, that level. But yeah, Infinite Wealth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth was just so good. So much to do. I mean, if I was interested in Animal Crossing, I would probably still be playing that game today and doing the Animal Crossing side game. The mission, because it's a whole style of game within that game. But myself, I mean, Animal Crossing was never a game that I particularly enjoyed, and I did try it. People raved over it, and so I tried it. I'm like, this is just no, not for me.
People just loved it in COVID. But I don't know.
Yeah,
COVID. So
well, you've got Switch now. Is it a game that you'd invest in? Maybe for the oldest kid?
No.
No.
Maybe.
It's basically as long as you go in every day, do a bit of farming and chat to people and stuff, and then you get things, and then you decorate your house and your island, and you create your island, and you just go in every day and collect stuff, really, and that's the game.
Relaxing.
Yeah. There's no challenge to it. It's harmless, but yeah, not for me. A bit boring. But yeah, no. Star Wars Outlaws. I'd recommend people play it, but maybe wait for it to be on sale or join the Ubisoft Premium, for 1 month, try it, and if you like it, buy it. If you don't, you're down even full price, £15 or $15, whatever it is. Yeah. So I'm sorry if you fancy playing it, but I would say don't pay. I mean, I didn't pay full price. I got it through a variety of CD keys and other ways of getting a few pounds off. But I didn't get it for like £10 or anything. I think it cost me £50. Yeah. So people can't see now because I haven't done a video, so
No.
can't see me doing a gun to the head kind of thing. But no, it's there you go. It's certainly no Knights of the Old Republic. It's not that in depth. It works well. It looks pretty. It's a Star Wars game, and enjoy. But I'm struggling.
Yeah.
So
It seems like it's just another game. There's nothing really that makes it.
yeah, other than the pretty, other than the pretty set pieces, there's nothing to make
like
me
uniqueness in regards to like
yeah.
what Infinite Wealth seems to have.
Yeah, there's nothing that I'm going to go to somebody, you must play this game. Watch a video that somebody's done in 4K that looks pretty, and you'll see how pretty it is. Especially if somebody's played it on a high-end PC, you're going to go, wow, that looks really good. But yeah, and I suppose watching somebody playing it, you probably all the little annoyances you probably wouldn't get. But
so it probably look good if you're watching it on Twitch or something.
Yeah, there you go. Watch on Twitch; it's free. So, have you been playing anything at all in the last week and a half? Any mobile games?
Mobile game.
I don't suppose
the mobile I got.
You've got Snake, haven't you, on yours?
Doodle Jump is probably the one.
Of course, Doodle Jump. Have you beaten your high score recently?
I haven't. No, the standard's so high now. It's hard to beat my high score. So I think
I always sucked at those kind of games.
I think it's on about 50 odd 56,000 off the top of my head. And I don't play it that much anymore because I think it's
got bored of it.
And it's I don't really, because I used to play it to try and beat my high score, but now my high score's so high, it's quite. Sometimes I get up to like 40 odd thousand. I'm like, oh, I'm quite close, and then
you just don't care anymore. So it's like
I die or whatever. But yeah, Doodle Jump. Did get the Wii U out.
Nice.
Yeah, so
we haven't talked about the Wii U for a while.
Yeah, I was. I went on a Wii U game actually. I was on one of the Nintendo 64 emulator games. So
nice.
I go on Super Mario 64, which just did got a couple of stars. I wasn't like a big go on it because I haven't really had much time on it. But it was it was the water one. I can't remember what the level or the world is called, but you got to swim underwater and you get like chased by this eel thing, and then you got to go and get the star. But I did have to look it up in the end. I couldn't work out how to get the star because the eel thing wouldn't come out. And I was like, I know the star's in there, but it won't come out. And I kept getting too close, and he was like killing me. So I was like, but somehow there was I can't remember what I did, but he did come out in the end.
Yeah, we've talked about this many times, but I've never been able to get on with Mario 64. I've tried so many times, and I do about 3 or 4 of the levels, and I'm like, it's just boring me now.
Well, I mean, I like it. So I love the game, but the controls are a bit frustrating. The camera, even though at the time it was quite revolutionary, like now you are constantly having to like switch the camera around, and sometimes the controls can be a bit frustrating. But and also there's stuff on there I'm thinking, how would you know what to do here if you don't have like I got now, like YouTube, where I can just go on and watch someone do it on a video. It's back in the day when people were playing it, they didn't have that, and you would just have to work
Yeah, you
out.
had to have the magazine. You had to have a
Like,
magazine, didn't you? Sitting next to you. Oh,
there was a lot of games like that. I mean, I remember like some stuff on like the Pokemon games. Like it would have been hard to know. I think it was Pokemon Ruby, and I think they had Sapphire and Ruby, but they were like the same game, but they just had a
yeah, they're slightly different Pokemon, didn't they?
yeah. And then I had Sapphire, and my friend had Ruby, and they were on the Game Boy Advance. And I bought the magazine, and there was one where you get they were called like Reggies, the Pokemon. There was Reggie Ice, Reggie Rock, and then I can't remember what the other one was, Reggie Wind or
Reggie
something.
Rock.
And to get them, you had to go to this random bit in like the ocean where there was like a whirlpool, and then you used whirlpool, and you ended up going under the sea, and then you were in this like bit, and it was you had to then use like dig to get into like a cave. There's so much to it, and me and my friend were just, how would you? No one would know this if they didn't have this magazine. It was like they'd done it intentionally. To get
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Unless you got the internet. I mean, there's even games now that I have to look up where and what, and especially responses. And that's just very simple things. That's about just the outcome of things. But yeah, obscure puzzles like that. I'm like, I don't want to have to research something to. I want it to be intuitive.
And we got the Pokemon, and they weren't very good anyway. So like don't even make it in our like they're pretty rubbish. But I think that was the one as well where a Pokemon, because all the Pokemon you get like your legendary Pokemon, and then on the red and blue one, like you save your Master Ball for Mewtwo at the end, in which you. But on this one, you had your legendary one, but you had this one Pokemon which would only appear once in the game. And if you didn't catch it, that was it. You'd never see it again.
But again, you wouldn't know that unless you knew in advance.
And it would tell you where it was on the map, but you had to complete the game. And I think you had to do it at a certain time because it had like a time on the Game Boy Advance. And then you had to so you had to go there when you saw it, and then if you didn't do it on that point, and if you couldn't like save it before and everything, because it would have just, you wouldn't have known when it was just going to pop up. So it wasn't like if you were just lucky enough to go on it and then it happened to come up straight after you, then obviously you could just. But if you were playing on it for hours and it came up, then
it's a bit
my
like
friend.
the weapons in the Final Fantasy games. After you complete it, you have like in Final Fantasy VII, you have Ruby weapon and I want to say Omega weapon, and they're like super strong bosses that are stronger than the final boss. And to beat them is really hard, but worth it, I think, in some of the cases. Was this one-off one actually worth it?
I didn't actually catch it. My friend did. He saved his Master Ball, but I got so that the Master Ball, for people who don't know Pokemon, is you just throw it and it would catch it regardless. Whereas the other ones you had to get their health really low, put them to sleep, paralyze them, poison them, whatever, not kill them, weaken them to the point they're almost dead, and then start throwing like Ultra Balls, and then even then it would take. So I stupidly used my Master Ball on something else. I can't remember what it was, and he popped up and I had like Pokeballs, so which are like the weakest type of ball. So I think I actually killed it in the end. And I was like, for goodness sake, I'm not getting him. So I can't remember my friend to ask him. I was going to say, I'll have to ask him if it was worth it, because he was the one who got it. I'd have to restart my whole game and start again. And which I won't.
No, thanks. So my boy's just going through Pokemon. I can't remember which one he's going through at the moment, but he's playing on the RG35, the Anbernic. And he's quite enjoying it. He hasn't really got obsessive, thankfully, yet. So he's not doing the whole Pokemon, I've got to catch them all. I want all the games. I want to Switch and all this kind of thing. He's still quite happy with the Xbox. But yeah, it's one of the few games that I sort of encouraged him to play because I thought I wanted him to experience some of the RPGs and actually asked for some advice on gaming dads and said, what is there an RPG that a 6-year-old could play? And they were all like, Pokemon. Oh yeah. And so I've got him into. He's playing through Sonic and Pokemon. So when he gets frustrated with one, he goes on to the other, and when he's bored of Pokemon, he goes back to Sonic. Because mostly, obviously, Sonic is bloody hard. So, I can admit though, I don't think I've ever actually admitted it on the podcast. I don't think I've ever actually completed a Pokemon game. Nope, I don't think I have.
You would have been a bit older when the craze for Pokemon sort of.
Well, the first one was what, early 90s? Was it early 90s?
No, late 90s.
Late 90s. Oh, blimey.
Pokemon Red. Yeah, Pokemon Red was like 98, 99, I think. Or
oh, blimey.
I think Pokemon Yellow might have been 2000. It was a bit.
Let's have a look. Yeah, 1998. Pokemon Red, Blue, Green, and Yellow, 98 to 99. Wow.
Yeah.
So I would have been 20 when the first one came out.
Yeah, you would have got a few looks if you were there, lining up with all like the 10-year-old children.
Well, yeah, but I've obviously got the restrictions on where I can do that nowadays. Yeah. Just to clarify, I don't. I am perfectly safe around children. So
I hope so. You have children.
I do have 2. Yes. Teens. They're all good fun or not. Yeah. But right. On this day, it is for us. It's the 1st of September,
2024.
2024. So 29 years ago on the Jaguar. So we're not sure. We don't think it probably came out later than the rest. But Rayman, you played many Rayman games?
Yeah, I think the best one I played is on the Wii U, which was the Legends.
Legends are such a good game.
Yeah, I think it's on the it's all on the make like PS4 and all that, isn't it? So
yeah, I think we talked about it, Phil, because it's Rayman Origins plus some other new things as well. So never buy Origins, just buy Legends, and it's so well designed and it looks good and it plays well. So good. One of my favourite platforming games.
I know I go on about the Wii U a lot, but honestly, the best console to play it on is the Wii U.
What does it have on the screen? Or do you play it on the screen?
You can. You can play it on the screen or you can play it on you can choose. But if you're playing it co-op, then one of you will be on the TV and then the other one will be on the screen. But they'll be like,
okay.
I was playing it with my friend and he was on the TV and I was doing it on the screen and I had to sort of move platforms for him so he could get across. But I had to do it in the correct timing because otherwise I think like the screen was coming, so he had to do it quite quickly. So he was like, move the platform down, move it up. And I was thing. And there were some puzzles where I had to do like so he was on the screen telling me what I needed to do. And I was like doing it with I'm doing my finger gesture here, which people won't be able to see. But yeah, it's really, and there's other things like when you play it on one player as well, which you can do on the tablet, which I'm sure you can do on the Switch as well.
It's similar to, I think, was it the new Super Mario Brothers U? You had that as well, couldn't you? You had somebody with the tablet that used to be able to pop things and move platforms and stuff while the others played.
Yeah,
the normal game.
3D World Super Mario. That's on the Wii U. The bit where you're on a trying to think of the word, but you're on something like a
Platform.
yeah, and you need it to go up, and then you just blow into your Wii U remote, and it goes up. So
Yeah, cool.
but yeah, so
Yeah.
Rayman. But yeah, I did play. I used to play the ones on the PlayStation, the original PlayStation.
Oh, we talking of platformers though as well. It's Crash Bandicoot, the original one, 28 years ago. Came out on the original PlayStation. We talked about that a couple of episodes ago, didn't we?
I did, yeah.
Obviously, being harder than we remember it.
Yeah.
Very much so. On the same day, the Die Hard trilogy came out, which was an interesting game. It was 3 games in one, but very hard, but quite good, but not as good as Crash Bandicoot. No, definitely not.
1 year ago today, to be exact,
Yes.
Starfield came out.
Yes, and we've got the DLC coming out soon. It's hang on, I will double check it. But yes, they announced at Gamescom the release date. It's coming out at the end of this month, so it's coming out in about 4 weeks. So September the 30th. Shattered Space DLC. It looks almost like a horror, sci-fi horror. I'm hoping that it'll be good.
A year later, or
yeah, I'm. Although I liked it, I'm not still playing it. I think I rinsed it for about a month, and I don't think there was anything particularly for me to find other than it's another one that I think I can spoil. What it is the new game plus that you have is that you find out that you're almost like a star baby kind of thing. You can go to an alternate universe and you can meet yourself. And so depending on what you do, it's not what you do in the previous world, but you can, the world that you go to or the universe that you go to can be slightly different. So you might meet your own self. Your own self might be dead, and everybody goes, "Oh my God, you're dead." It might. I think there's even one chance where everybody is you. I think I saw that there was sort of a 1 in 10,000 chance that everybody is you in the new universe, or everybody in the group that you join. So I think I only renewed myself once. And yeah, so you keep all the powers and everything that you get from the various things throughout the game. Excuse me. It was an interesting way of doing a new game that it affects future games, but it wasn't enough to get me to be still playing. And because I played on Xbox, there wasn't very many mods or that, and although there is the creation content now, creation club content. But yeah, Shattered Space, I will be straight on there day one and giving a review, and we'll hopefully it'll be a bit of horror that will get me, being my usual wussy self. Never know. So that's 4 weeks' time. What else have we got? 9 years ago, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain.
Yeah,
absolutely. I own that on Xbox and PC, I think.
Yes, 4, I think.
Yes, on PC, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, and Xbox One.
It was great for a PS3 game.
Well, it was out on them too, but I don't think it. I think nowadays we'd go back and go, well, it probably looks very good for the 360, and it probably did, but I think there was a definite graphical difference between the PS4 and PS3 and Xbox One.
Must be like the last games on that generation.
Yeah, I mean that would have been what, 2015. So I think the Xbox One came out in 2013. I want to say. So yeah, they'd already the 360 was being phased out. Although there obviously still a lot of people playing it. But no, it was a fantastic game. Huge. Very much almost like an early roguelite
So
kind of
was
thing.
it set in Afghanistan, wasn't it? Was it Afghanistan?
I think it was a made up country, but it was
It was
basically
like Middle East, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was that kind of thing where you had like Russian style tanks and a desert
Yeah, okay.
canyons and all this kind of thing.
And you would like extract people, and you would end up on a big boat.
Yeah, so you would always start on you had like an oil rig that was your base, and you could upgrade and get people to come in and work for you, and get the more people you got in, the better quality they were, the more upgrades you could get, and then you could bring back hardware and whatnot that you could find. So you'd get in a helicopter, you'd pick where you were going, and depending on whether it was a story mission or just a rescue mission or something like that. So it was very much an early style of the repeatable, more or less infinite game. And it was just really good. It was very hard when you first started playing it because you could do very little, and all your guns were loud. You couldn't get close to people very easily without alerting them and all this. So it started off very hard, but the more you did, the more upgrades you got. It became a game where eventually you could go in, and some levels would take you a few minutes because you basically just go in and go, right, there's 5 people, thunk, 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 thunk. They're all unconscious. Walk right in, rescue the person, bring them out. Done.
Like different, they weren't just all humans, were they? Like,
there was all sorts. I mean, one of the last boss was a giant, or one of the big bosses was a giant mech. One of the Metal Gear iterations. But so there was all sorts. There was a woman who basically had a lot of side boob, who was a sniper, and you had to out sniper her. But it's a typical Hideo Kojima thing where there was always ways that you could defeat people either easily or at least easier. There's somebody on fire who I think that you could put out or something like that. It's a bit like, was it Metal Gear Solid 4? Was it with the old guy where you could just set the time on your console to a year later and you'd load up the game and the guy would just be dead?
And the original one on the PlayStation where you could just change the controller.
You had to change the controller ports. Yeah, I saw a video about that recently, and there was a different Psycho, because that was Psycho Mantis.
Yeah.
So there was a different Mantis in one of the other ones where because it had wireless controllers, you had to specify that your controller was a player 2. And when you did that, it said, nah, that's not going to work. That was very clever, and they kept that going for future games where you had to do certain things if you wanted to. You could generally do all these ones normally. The snipe, the old one with the old guy, you could kill him. You just had to be good at sniping and whatnot.
And to this date, this is the last Metal Gear Solid that's been released, isn't it? I don't think.
Well, yeah, that was shortly before the whole problem between Konami and Hideo Kojima, because I think Konami still have the rights to the Metal Gear Solid name, and Hideo Kojima doesn't. So anything that comes out now will not be Hideo Kojima unless he buys back the name, which I don't think he'll bother. He's too busy doing. I can't remember what the Xbox game is doing, but he's also doing Death Stranding 2. What's the Xbox Hideo Kojima game? What is it? Oh, OD. That's the one. It's been teased, but nothing. There's been no details about it. So yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's Metal Gear Solid 5. What else have we got that came out? Oh, there was something interesting, I think, on September the 2nd, wasn't there? Nope, nothing particular. Oh, The Sims 4, that was it. The Sims 4 is 10 years old. Yay! 10 years of drowning people in swimming pools or setting fire to your kitchen. Are you, have you got any of the DLC that can cost you about £1,000?
No. I have played Sims 4. I think most people have played.
Yeah, I mean, it's free to play now, so it's a game that you should play because it is good fun. But yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, if you want to play all of the game, yeah, I think somebody added it up and it was something ridiculous like £1,300 if you want all of it. Although that's dwarfed by it was one of the train simulation games. It's like Train Sim World or something, and to buy all of the DLC was something ridiculous, like £17,000.
Wow, you can get like a train for that.
You could probably buy an actual train. Yeah. What should I buy this virtual thing that might close down and not be available in 10 years' time, or should I buy an actual train? Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to look that up for another episode. But yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a train. It was in the 5 digits. The cost was, I think. Don't quote me on that though. It was bloody expensive. No, I mean Sims 4. I've never bought any DLC. I do own some because I think Xbox, if you got Game Pass Ultimate, I think once they gave away some for free, but it was only one of the small ones that's got like cats or something. I think it was the cats and dogs DLC.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
do DLC for everything. Like vacations and
If you want to work in finance, sit there and sit on a computer all day, and that's all your character does. But that's the thing. It's meant to be a life sim, so yeah. But yeah, play it. If you haven't played a Sims game, what are you doing? Just play it. Just do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, anything else gaming wise that you feel like we need to talk about other than building games? Obviously.
Oh, yeah.
We will get to building games at some point.
Games.
It may not be the next episode. It may be the next episode. We don't know.
Yeah,
but
we shouldn't promise anything anymore, should we?
No. But I think we should still just keep saying we're going to do it.
Yeah, because hopefully there might be people who are tuning in because they think we're going to.
Well, they'll have to listen to the next episode because we might talk about your Sim Cities and the like, but not this episode. Right. And on that note, that's us done. Until next episode, like and subscribe. Focusongaming.co.uk. Give us a review, and we will see you next episode. Episode 60. 6 decades. Not 6 decades. 6 tens, whatever. Bye.
Bye.